want it all, and I want it now. So let's get to it. All right. So what is it I want? Well, you probably want it too. I want the latest and greatest, and I want it right freaking now. How dare all of these companies not be ready for that development the second it comes out? I mean, Apple needs to be in lockstep with Universal Audio and Avid and PreSonus and everybody else. We just got to get prepared, because when that new operating system comes out, it better work with everything immediately, or I'm gonna get pissed. You know what? Just came out with a new version of that favorite DAW you're using, and you've got to have it all working right now. Wow. You know, I'll be honest with you, I have those feelings at varying times in my journey for sure. You know, it's just like, my goodness, this stuff should be so freaking easy. I spent money with one of these vendors like 10 years ago, so I deserve everything, and I deserve it right now. Okay, let me give you a big dose of reality. First, that ain't never gonna happen. It ain't never, ever, ever, ever gonna happen for you. You know what? It never, ever, ever has in the digital audio workstation world. It's just not. You have unrealistic expectations. When I have these expectations, they're unrealistic. First of all, if you're in a home studio, you want to plan to be at the very least one level behind with the latest operating system and the latest version of your DAW for what you're using day in and day out. If you're like me, I want to explore all of the new features. I want to get them right away. I want to test them, and I'm unwilling to have that negatively affect my workflow. So I realize, instead of expecting these developers and all of the associated vendors that are associated with them to be able to do everything immediately, maybe I should do something differently, because that's an unrealistic expectation. So what do? Well, I have a separate operating system on an external drive that I can boot from that external drive, and I can run that version of whatever it is I want to run, and I can test it out all day long, because I've got two concurrent operating systems, concurrent versions of whatever DAW or software application or plugin or virtual instrument or whatever it may be. I've got a duplicate system that I can test it out. But many, and I'm not going to say years ago, I'm going to tell you decades ago, I realized it's utterly futile to waste 1 second of my energy complaining about why, in most situations, companies have not got up to board, okay? Now, does that mean you can never complain? No. There's been some companies out there dragging their feet longer than is acceptable on the Apple Silicon, but if I'm being fair, you know, we don't know what kind of conversations happen behind the scenes between Apple and these developers. And you know what? Before I'm going to invest a ton of my money into something, I want to make sure I've got an audience for that. In other words, I need to know these computers are everything Apple is saying, and they've got to start flying off the shelves, okay? Whether that's that or Windows 11 or Windows 10, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You know, the whole ordeal with Apple Silicon is fresh in most people's minds. Well, you know what? You got to be patient with this stuff. You got to be patient. If you're thinking that stuff's going to happen like that, it don't, and it's not going to. And it's not in your best interest to stay up to date with everything, okay? Now, I understand you maybe feel compelled to do it, because here's some disclosure for you. I'm on the beta version of Monterey, OSX Monterey. I'm on the beta version. So every time they come out with an update, I got to go through that pain. But I enjoy that stuff. I want to learn. I want to see. So I don't have a certain level of expectation that I'm not going to have issues. Actually, I have a full expectation that I'm going to have issues, okay? I'm going to have them. I'm going to change gears for a second because there's an old argument, and this is a legitimate argument, by the way, that sometimes some developers will release let's use DAW, for example, their digital audio workstation. They will release that next version before they've truly put it through its paces, giving us the impression, the illusion, or maybe accurate assumption, okay, that they're expecting us to work through all of that and tell them what their problems are. And then when they choose to, they'll jump on that. Avid historically has been notorious for that with Pro Tools. I mean, who cares if we get it right out of the gate? Those people have figured out because they know the professional market are smart and they do what I said in the beginning of this, and that's stay behind until everything's worked out, everything's been proven to work flawlessly, and then you make that jump, and only then. And sometimes that could be a year minimum, sometimes it could be longer. But you've got all these things going on. Now, you've got it going on right now with Cubase 12, okay? I started reading into, their new release and reading a lot of comments and stuff, and there's a lot of people that are upset. There are people actually going off on the fact, about the fact that, them finally getting rid of their dongle. Well, yeah, it took them a long time. They finally got rid of it. Why are you talking about it? If it's what you wanted, it's gone. No need to talk about it anymore. We can whine and cry like babies all day long, but it ain't going to make a difference. I know I have whined and cried with the best of them over my years, okay? So if you're going to embrace this whole digital audio workstation, understand, one, technology is not going to stop to make your life easier. No, companies are not going to continue to develop products, develop operating systems, develop things for improvements for things that are unrelated to things that you do, okay? The world doesn't evolve around you or me, okay? So no, quit having those unrealistic expectations that's going to be that way, okay? We've got to really accept that this is a way of working, okay? Technology is going to continue to be developed, and I personally embrace it. Just because that new tech is out there does not mean that you've got to go chase it because it's a shiny little new toy out there for you. I've got another video coming out here pretty soon about when is the right time to upgrade your computer. So stand by for that one because that's an area where a lot of people make that mistake, okay? So what's the purpose of this video? I guess to some degree to give you some sense of reality, some sense of hope, some sense of how do you get rid of some natural, understandable frustrations that we have when things don't work? There's nothing more frustrating than having a tool that does a job, but you can't get it to do that job. I get it. That's tough to deal with, okay? But the reality is the circumstances are what they are. And if you stop and you're open-minded and you're understanding that people are running a business and things are never quite as simple as you think they are on the surface, they don't just snap that finger, snap, 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 okay, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And things just happen. That is not the way these things go down, okay? So quit sweating it. If you want to make music, then quit letting things get in the way of that. And when you start complaining about these things and getting frustrated over it, you are allowing yourself to get in the way of making music, okay? There's nothing wrong with staying a year behind. Nothing wrong whatsoever. I hate to break it to you, but these major recording studios are many years behind. They don't ever do this stuff. Shoot, there's people still running Pro Tools from 6-7 years ago in their studio, okay? Or whatever version of DAW they're using, because you know what? It works. They're not out there itching and dying for all these new little features. That's guys like us, okay? That's not the dose of reality. So save yourself a little bit of peace of mind. Save yourself some heartache and unnecessary aggravation and negative emotion, and just accept certain aspects of what we do. It is, let's call it, a cost of doing business. And to simply not accept this fact, You can convince yourself of anything you want. I already see the comments coming down below. Barry, but this, Barry, but that, Barry, but that. And you can feel all righteous in your justification and you can shout it from the rooftops. But unless you've got some very unique, isolated discussion, now I'm talking big picture here. There's always exceptions to everything, but big picture here, okay? You can convince yourself all day long that that's reality, okay? And you can keep doing that and you can keep spewing negativity in your life, but it's all that's going to do is have a negative impact on you and your life, okay? Because it's not impacting the developers, okay? They just can't Johnny on the spot, get it out there to you right away. You've got to learn to be patient. You've got to learn to work through bugs. This stuff is not a flawless situation that we run into. And let's face it, most of us have grossly unrealistic expectations for the itty bitty tiny money we're spending. And yeah, you go out and spend $600 on a DAW. I hate to break it to you. That may be a lot of money in your bank account. And it's not shabby in my bank account either. But it is porquito, baby, in the big scheme of things as far as a tool goes, okay? It's not as big as you think it is, all right? Or maybe some of you might think it is. I don't know where you land on this discussion, but I think this is something that everybody's got to come to terms with at some point, or you're just going to do yourself a lot of unnecessary emotional bondage of which you are chaining yourself to wherever you're at and whatever viewpoint that you particularly have. And all I can tell you is the odds of that being productive for creating music is about slim to nothing. I mean, not a quit it, bam, bam, bam. I wonder if I should put some music in there while I'm doing that animation. That could be interesting. So anyway, if you like the things I talk about on this channel, hit that like button, that subscribe button, that notification bell. I just did it in the reverse order. It goes go boom, boom, boom. But who cares? You don't care about that. All I care about, hey, hit the button, hit that button. Come back and watch some more videos. I talk about a lot of things on this channel that will do what? They will make you think. Sometimes I'm a little animated like this. Sometimes I'm very straight to the point and give it to you in a hard dose of reality like your father would to you when you were a kid and give you a dose of cornbread English. But this is not one of those moments, okay? So go check out some of my other videos. Put some comments down below. Tell me what you think. I'm very excited about the comments on this one because I know I probably stirred a pot. Stirred the hornet's nest, okay? I'm pretty sure hornets don't live in a pot. Maybe they do, and if we did, we stirred the hornet's nest in the pot, okay? And am I the pot calling the kettle black? I don't know. Maybe I am. Until next time, have a great day. Bye-bye. That was pretty quick, wasn't it? Okay, go. I don't care. Just go. I got other things to do right now.